Hey folks, Wayne over here at the Ram Man. This is going to be the third little video in a series. I wanted to show you some of the backside secrets of our hubs. I've already shared with you the front side secrets. All of our hubs are Ford Temkin Super Duties. We have to change the bolt pattern, the Ford pattern, modern pattern. Oh, these hubs are going on. This is one customer ordered 2 sets of hubs. We get a lot of that now, people running small fleets and stuff. Yeah, 2013 and a 15. So we changed the pattern, and then of course we have to turn down the 2 registers, pilots. There's your rotor pilot, and there's your wheel, pilot or register. The terms are interchangeable. Have been for decades. So that's one of the reasons we get to run Ford hubs. You know, here it is, 2022. It's Friday, November the 18th at 6:35 p.m. Yeah, I know I should be out throwing down. Instead, I'm making videos for you guys. So, the Ford registers have always been bigger than the Dodges. And so there's meat there. We turn these down a certain amount, say 60 thousandths and 40, and your rotor and your Dodge wheel go on. A lot of old school people know that even back in the 60s and 70s with the muscle cars and cars, right? The Ford registers have always been bigger than the Dodges. That's why in the old days you could take Ford wheels and bolt them on a Dodge, but you can't take Dodge wheels and bolt them on a Ford. So anyway, that's the front side machine work mods that we do. Now, the real super secret of the hubs and why they're so fantastic has to come with the thrust bushing, which is the hub and shaft interface. So, let's look at something real quick. So, this right here is a factory Ford shaft. Super 60, Dana 60, 2004 up, yada yada yada. You see, great big 035 splines, approximately 1.5 inches. Here's a Dodge shaft. Now, these are nearly the same. These are nearly the same, but not quite. The Dodges are slightly taller by about 10 thousandths. The splines themselves are slightly taller. So, a Ford won't fit on a Dodge. Dodge doesn't fit in the Ford. So, what are we going to do? Now, this Ford shaft, this smooth surface right here, this small 1-inch surface is what captures the stub shaft. And the stub shaft is right here. It's captured by this sealed roller bearing right here. This is a great big sealed roller bearing in the back. If you look, it has a giant snap ring and it can be replaced. The earlier models on the Ford, which people had problems with, the shaft bearing is right here. It is not protected, and so debris can get in there. It's not protected. This one right here is sealed. So, this bearing, it's a ball bearing. This bearing is pretty good size. He's only about that wide though. That's what captures the stub shaft. That's the only thing that holds it. And then of course the locker slides down. Voila. That is the assembly on a Ford Super Duty. You're looking at the factory assembly with the hub missing. So that's where that bearing rides. So how was I going to do this? Well, I come up with an ingenious thing. I said, okay, well, let's put us a spacer or a thrust bushing in there. And, well, why did I decide to name it that? Well, I named it that because, number one, it's a bushing. And number two, it's designed to take a little load and to absorb a little load. So, look at there. This thrust bushing that we make from start to finish, in-house, we spline it. Yes, we have a gear shaper. We get to do internal splines that most people cannot do. And we do it every day. So, we have this big old bushing. It rides on those splines. And this bushing just pushes inside that big old ball bearing, and then inside is held right there by a great big clip. So, all you have is thrust bushing inside the Ford hub. Now, these thrust bushings have got to be a little bit different depending on the model and the years and such. If you'll notice, this one is this length, has this rim, 45, 50, 500, is that length, and has a bigger rim. What does that do? It positions the shaft. It positions the depth of the shaft. And this right here has substantially more contact area and holds the shaft, this Dodge shaft, into the bearing more securely than the factory design. Factory design is smooth, that's smooth, it has that narrow capture area, and that's it, compared to that. And on top of that, it's splined, so it's held very well in all positions. No lateral movement up and down compared to something like this. And that's one of the main internal secrets of our design. And once again, these are individuals that we make here, and there's different ones for different models. We've measured all the spacing and mocked up all the different models so that we arrived at the correct size of the thrust bushings. These are also a cheap part, Relativity, and they're soft. They are softer than these bearing surfaces, which usually are about a Rockwell 62, and these shafts are about 60, 62. So if something's going to wear out by design, which I did on purpose, it's going to be these thrust bushings, which are easily replaceable. The ball bearing is easily replaceable. I mean, what a brilliant design. It's just brilliant. And of course, we did all the spacing internally, and the depth of this had to match the shaft. When you engage the four-wheel drive, whenever you engage something, centrifugal force usually makes it go to the outside. And one of the reasons I coined the term thrust bushing is because when you do engage the full-wheel drive, these shafts will usually come, once they get to spinning, just like anything, they will come out just a little bit, whether it's 50 thousandths or 100 thousandths or 10 thousandths. They will typically move just a little bit. And of course, this soft, well, it's not dead soft, but much softer. These are about a Rockwell, about 30, about half. They take the load. This little rim takes the load. It allows that shaft to move just a little bit. It can float just a little bit. So, there we go. Probably wasted a lot of your time. Y'all folks done gotten bored with all these secrets, but I tell you what, you get you some hubs. And I'll tell you something for you folks that don't have any idea and you're clueless. If you'll go on the interweb and you research the amount of transfer case explosions, transmission explosions that have to do with Dodge and Ram trucks from having full-time, full-wheel drive, basically. You can spend an entire evening. There is page after page after page. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them got the whole transfer case for $12,000. They also lost a toe. You got other people that had to have major surgery because they had to get their calf replaced. Because get their calf replaced when all them parts came through the floorboard. Now, I have experienced a drive shaft coming apart when I was a young dude, 16, 17, with my first Dodge truck. And that wasn't any fun. I can't imagine transfer cases and gears and everything coming up through the fucking floorboard. Yeah, customers that we've had, some of them have driven over and picked them up, have told us the horror stories. And I'm going to tell you, being an ex-soldier and all, you know, even them stories concerned me a little bit, scared the shit out of me. I'm glad it ain't never happened to me. And on a selfish note, I'm glad it happened to somebody else. But anyway, yeah, and on top of that, we've heard that, hell, the transfer cases, you couldn't get one if you wanted to. Apparently, the front covers on them aluminum front cases on there, yeah, want in this hand, crap in that one, see what happens first. Yeah, you ain't getting them. Get you some hubs on your buggy, and it'll change your world. God bless you. God bless America, and happy trucking.